An eargasm of learning and a no-fuss show. Welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast, where you can learn straightforward topics about branding, digital entrepreneurship, online business, and many more with your charming host, John Santos, along with inspiring entrepreneurs, creators, and thought leaders worldwide.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Creative Talk with me, John Santos. We have a special guest for today's episode. I am already excited and I'm a fan. Why? Let me just say this. Just check out her YouTube page. And you will see, wow, the learnings. I'm not talking about, the numbers or anything, but guys, after the introduction, go on and search her online. You will see tons of valuable content, really valuable content. And I watch not all of them because they have a lot, but that's the reason why I can say that our guest for today is such an amazing person, full of value. She is, an expert in her field, marketing expert to be exact. A co-founder and strategic marketing director of TDC, digital agency. We will know about that later. Wow. Very beautiful. Very beautiful. Smart. And she I'm not sure if she is Spanish, but she speaks Spanish. So, and I forgot all of my Spanish, back in the days when learning about Spanish lessons. Let's all welcome, guys. Let's all welcome our special guest for today, Laura Gomez. Laura, welcome to the Creative Talk Podcast.
Wow. Thank you, Jan. Thank you so much. What an introduction. My goodness. I'm so glad to be here, to be chatting with you. I'm excited for everything that we're going to dive into during this conversation. I know it's going to be filled with a lot of juicy stuff. So thank you. It's a pleasure being here talking with you.
¿Cómo estás?
Gracias. Estoy muy bien. ¿Y tú?
Sí. That's the only thing I remembered. I was like, should I review? Should I review
You should,
and talk to her in Spanish? Hey, let me just say that our Philippine culture and heritage is neatly tied with Spanish culture. For so long, the culture of Spanish it really shaped our culture here in the Philippines. We count in Spanish.
Really?
Yes. We our half of our language, if I'm not mistaken, is modified Spanish language. And there are parts in the Philippines that really do practice Spanish, but the generation changes and we tend to be more Western. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, my mom and my grandmother and grandfather, they are really even my name is Spanish.
Jan Santos, yeah.
Villegas Santos. So yeah, our food. So yeah, I feel so comfortable now.
I love hearing that.
Yeah. Let me just dive into this one. Not related to the topic. So you're half Spanish, or because I saw in your YouTube you have a Spanish channel. So what's the story behind this one?
So I do have a channel in English, only English, and then another one in only Spanish. I was born in Colombia, South America. So completely Spanish, 100% of me is Spanish, but I do live in the US. So I've moved here since I was very, very little. So English is like, I honestly, people ask you, so what's your first language? I don't have a first language because from the beginning, when I started speaking, it was always English at school, Spanish, always at home and with the family. My mom always made me speak Spanish. So.
Well, same with me. English is not my first language, so forgive me if I can't pronounce some words properly. we speak Filipino in the Philippines, but same like you, lessons in school, the language is all in English. Before, it's Spanish and then the native tongue. But then modernization, it changed drastically. All right.
Yeah.
So just a
Yeah.
backstory there, guys. All right,
Some
Laura.
good
Yeah.
information.
Yes. All right, Laura. I mentioned this off cam, and for our viewers and our listeners, yes, we all know that you are an expert in marketing, in a niche. But a tradition here in the Creative Talk podcast, we focus more on the beginning. Like, it's very easy for people to see the success of a person, right? Because that's
Oh yeah.
the now, the now thing, the current thing. But the journey, I believe, that's interesting. That's
Yeah.
where you see what shaped a person. What happened. It may be there's a story there. There's a narrative there, and we can learn a lot. This is from me, that's my opinion. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
That you can really find valuable insights, treasures, learning in the journey. Of course, it's an important thing to see that the position you are right now. So, having said that, Laura, please tell us what or who influenced you to be in this. Let me just say this, to be a wonderful person you are right now in an awesome position, a position of authority, because you're an expert, right? Your word, your opinions, your recommendations matter. People listen to you, clients, they
Yeah.
respect you and listen to you. So who or what happened? What influenced you to be in this position right now? The floor is yours. Feel free.
Thank you. That's a great question. I definitely 100% agree with you. Most times we look at people years down the line and we're like, wow, it was so easy. Great for them. You don't really know all, the things that happened in the past. And I'm not saying it was struggles or it was a bad thing, but there's a journey. Everybody has a journey behind. So a little bit about my journey. I graduated from university with a degree in international business and a minor in marketing. So I knew I wanted to do business, obviously, with my growing up, different languages. I traveled a lot, experienced different cultures. I knew I wanted to do business not only in one country, but multiple countries because I have that benefit. It's like something that, a little toolkit that you have under your belt, you might as well use it. So that's why I decided that at that moment, I swore I was going to work in corporations. So corporate America, climb the ladder. It looked really, really nice to me. It looked amazing. I had already had a couple jobs and it was going great because at those jobs, even though it was like a part-time while I was studying, I was still advancing. I was getting into newer positions. So everything looked really good. I've always liked the marketing side of it. That's why I did that minor part, because it's the world. I really, really feel like if you don't market even yourself, you can't even advance in your career. It's not only marketing a business or a product, it's marketing life. Life is all about marketing.
Oh, I love that. I love that. We're going to be digging to that topic later.
I love it. So that's basically how I started. I graduated and I got a job at my dream company. My dream company. So when I was, even before I started college, university, I sat there and I was like, I love cars. That's something that not a lot of people know about me. I love cars. I love fast cars. I worked at Mercedes at a dealership. That was one of my first part-time jobs. Yeah, this is actually super interesting because I don't think I've ever told this on a podcast. So this is about to get really interesting.
For all our listeners and viewers, this is Laura bragging. This is just plain bragging there.
So I had that job. I love cars. And I was like, you know what? I started searching up what cars had their headquarters nearby. So I grew up in Florida. So I said, okay, there has to be some type of headquarters of a car company that also deals with Latin America. So I went on the search. I worked at Mercedes, so I started searching, okay, where's the headquarters for Mercedes? Their headquarters is actually, I believe, in Michigan. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that one, but it's further away. It's not in Florida. And I started searching other brands, whatever. And then I landed upon Porsche Latin America in Miami. And this was years ago. I was probably in high school. I remember sitting there and I took a picture. There was a picture of the CEO and I was like, look, I'm going to work with him. I said that years and years ago. Well, I graduated. It wasn't like a set position. It was an internship. Okay. And I got an internship at Porsche Latin America. So that's where my journey began. It started off as a 3-month thing. It went to 6 months, went to a year. I was the longest intern there, where they were like, okay, we have something in our policy saying that after 18 months, like we can't have an intern longer than 18 months. But I did finance, I did administration. Then I went to after sales, and after sales is like what happens after the purchase of the vehicle. So that involved a lot of marketing aspects. So obviously, and I got into that one. So I switched internships position. I was offered that one too, because they knew that I was also into marketing. It's what lights me up. I love sitting there. I love thinking about, okay, what are we doing with this brand to get it into a region where it's not that common? We're talking about South America. We're talking about, costly cars in South America where there's not even that many people as an audience. So what can we do to make the car appeal better? So in my own head, I would think of ideas. I would think of social media campaigns. This I've never told anybody. I would think of social media campaigns just in my head. And then I went into that other marketing side of it. Obviously, it was an internship. So after there, I went into a marketing agency, just, regular corporate. Little did we know that on the side of things, so besides my regular 9 to 5, I started a food blog. So a food blog on Instagram.
All right.
It's not that complicated. It's, it doesn't get as simple as that. A food blog on Instagram.
A food blog about, like any dishes, right? Not just like vegan stuff or
just
anything.
Pictures of food. That's all it is.
Okay.
So it's not even like a blog. I didn't write. It was just pictures of food on Instagram. Okay. So I was doing that on the side, and that account started growing, like booming up on Instagram. That in less than a year had reached, I think we got over to 17,000 followers in less than a year of food posting, because a lot of people love food.
Is it still existing until now?
It does still exist. It's inactive. I think I probably I post once a year. So it's inactive, but I'll get onto that story in just a little bit. So that was on the side, and that was growing. And all we were doing was, and that's with my partner, we were taking pictures of food in the restaurants we would go. So that was like our activity on the weekends. Where are we going to go? The best places. Miami has a lot of food with, it's a melting pot. Food from all over the world, and the dishes are very extravagant. They're very nice. So for the picture, it makes it really, really easy. So that was growing on the side. And without even us looking, we landed upon different influencer events where we would go to restaurants. And at one of those restaurants, we met the social media manager from a really, really big chain that you might have heard, Benihana. It's the typical one where you see in movies, the guy with the hat flipping the egg, throwing the egg up in the air, the hibachi style.
Yeah.
So that's a global chain. That's actually how everything started, because she was like, the videos that you're doing are so amazing. Like, we need that for our restaurant. So that's when we were like, hold on, this is something that we like to do. Yes, the 9 to 5 was great. Yes, I was at the company of literally my dreams, but this was also so cool. So we started going along with it. That started evolving. We started working with different brands. We started working with really, really big brands, making content, also different restaurants, giving them social media consultations, because they have a great picture or a great video. Now, what do we do with it? So it was just a little bit, without even me thinking of what it could be in the future, giving them advice. Look, your followers, they have to grow. They have to get to know your restaurant, put your location, get more people into your location, get them to post about the food, because everybody has a network. When you spread it, it's like a domino effect. So that started growing, and there was a point where it was growing so much, we got our first monthly recurring content client, where it was content and social media management. I was still working, but it was a job where I didn't see that I could grow further. That was already at another agency, not at Porsche. I left Porsche, that was another agency. And I took the leap. I randomly one day, I was like, you know what? We have one set client. It wasn't that we had multiple clients. It wasn't that my salary was equivalent from, my side hustle to my regular. No, not at all. It was that there was a lot of time that had to be put into this for this to grow. I really liked where this was heading. I had no idea of what this could become. And I said, let me take the leap. Why not?
What was the driving force for you to take the leap? Because you mentioned that the salary is not the factor, right? So what was the driving force behind it, the decision?
Passion, definitely passion and growth. I didn't see growth at this other place. And I knew that any other agency, corporation that I would go to, it wasn't the growth that I was looking for. I'm very this, that, here, this idea, and I want to put it in action. Obviously, when we're in a corporation where there's tons of other roles where, to even do one thing, to move one finger, it has to go by thousands and thousands of approvals. I just didn't see how I could give so much. And here I was looking at how even from the start, just giving ideas of the content, I thought, okay, this is what we can do for this client. Okay, I'm also the one that has to put it in action. So then I also have to execute it. And that lights me up.
Were you afraid doing the transition?
Yeah, of course. Are you kidding? Yes, of course. Of course I was afraid. But It was a moment where I thought, okay, honestly, what can happen? It's not like there aren't any more agencies in the world. It's not like I'm closing the doors forever. Let's give this a try. Let's see what happens. And here I'm in control.
Wow.
I control what happens. I control who I want to work with. I control if I want to do content. I control if I want to do social media. I control if I want to do consultancy. And later on, I've gotten deeper into that controlling part, because it's not like from the beginning, you understand that. From the beginning, you're like, okay, I need to get clients. I need to help people, because obviously I need to maintain myself. And we're in a moment where we think we can do everything as an agency. I think that's how everybody starts off. That's where freelancers come to play. Freelancers think that, I do this. And even let's say something more, more normal that everybody can relate to, construction workers, or, the person that mows your lawn. If they're mowing your lawn and they see that they can fix this, they're like, oh, you know what? I can do this. I think that's how freelancers.
Wow, I love the example that you choose. It really, I saw that visually and I understood.
We all know that person. Yeah, we all know that person.
Right. So, when you did that transformation, when you do that leap of faith, so to speak, that was marketing already, right? You were really handling that scope, that task for those clients, right?
Oh yeah, everything from start to finish, from admin, invoicing, negotiating. Obviously, we had to sign the person, creating the contract. There's so much that goes into that, even before we even think about strategy, marketing, what we're going to do, equipment when we're going on site, then editing that. So that's post-production. Wow. To actually putting that out. So a lot of people don't understand that. They just see, oh, you post pictures on Instagram for a brand. Yeah, it sounds cute. There's a lot that goes into it, especially if you want that little picture to bring in customers and business for that brand.
Wow. Okay. Since now you already started, things that is connected to marketing, and I understand your journey. And it's really exciting. I'm pumped up. I have a lot of questions, and I'm sure our listeners and our viewers have a lot of questions as well. To start off, not all of our viewers and our listeners are in the same standpoint as we are. the terms that we use, the jargons that we use, the niche. So let me just start by asking you a question about marketing, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What is marketing in your perspective? Can you explain marketing? Because there's a lot right now. It's kind of confusing in a way.
Yeah,
You type in marketing and you get a lot of interlapping explanations. The scope are really it's unclear. So
definitely.
I this is also coming from myself. I'm excited to know your perspective in explaining the basic what is marketing.
Okay. So I'm all about, and this is something that I also in my YouTube videos I teach. I'm like, if you can say whatever you're trying to explain and a third grader can understand, then you're doing your job. So I'm going to make it as simple as possible. Marketing to me is showing the benefit of something to somebody who doesn't understand it and getting them interested.
Wow.
So at the end of the day, whether you understand traditional marketing, whether you understand digital marketing, whether you look at these marketing gurus that you might see when you type in marketing on Google, whatever it may be, in the newspaper, when people started off, promoting things, promoting ads. So let's say promoting it to Mr. John, who was reading his newspaper while he was drinking his coffee. And he saw a picture of, the new shoe shiner. And they did a good job. They got him interested in a product that he might not have known before that picture on that newspaper.
Wow. Powerful. And I totally agree. Right? You're explaining, you're actually throwing that message, all the features, all that people needs to know about that product, that brand, or that service.
However
Wow.
you do it, whether it's in writing, a video, a picture, newspaper in the old days, TV commercials, now social media, ads.
Yeah.
It's the same background.
A follow-up question with that, Laura.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a powerful explanation of what marketing is. Now, why do you think marketing is important in this generation and what generation to come? So the question is about the current generation and the future. Why do you think it's important? Marketing is important.
Okay. So let's take something in your background, right? We have a lot of things back there. What's your favorite thing that's behind you? Maybe Mr. Batman?
Oh yeah. I pray to those. Okay. Should I get one?
Grab one. Grab your favorite. Mr. Batman, right?
Yeah. Mr. Batman.
Okay. What made you buy that?
It's a gift.
Okay. Yeah. Why does it mean so much to you?
Well, I collect Batman, but this specifically is it's the first Batman that started my collection. It was first given not as a toy, but for the intention to build a collection, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So what is Batman? Why a collection of Batman? What does that symbolize? What does that mean to you? Why? What got you into that? Did you see something somewhere that sparked, your attention and you're like, yeah, I want to be a collector?
Well, it started with, me as a kid. It just so happened that the first action figure, the first toy that I got from my mom is a Batman action figure. And then as you grow old, you figure out that, hey, these are comics, da 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 da. And then I end up, understanding the background of Batman. He's human. He doesn't have any superheroes, and that's what makes him unique. That's his branding. Yeah. So yeah, that's what fascinates me, and then got me to collecting. Yeah.
Exactly. So it appeals to you for a reason. And I promise you that with the strong reason, if you had to get any little kid into collecting or into understanding your passion, you would sell that better than anyone in the world, because you're attracted to that. So marketing, whether it's this generation, the following generations, it's always about sharing that interest, getting other people, and it's done everywhere. It's done on the streets. It's done on social media with what we consume. That's why maybe, and most of the times we don't even realize it, but most of the times it's in your subconscious. So we don't even see it, but maybe the reason why you're so appealed to Batman is because when you were little, you saw a Batman commercial and you felt, wow, this guy is so powerful. This guy is so cool. So that happens everywhere that we look. That's marketing in this generation and in the following generations as we share our passion.
Ooh, I love that. I love it. I was a part of role playing explanation. I love that. I love that vibe. And very well, like a champion, Laura. Wow, like a champion. I was like, I a bit there. I lost the topic because when we talk about Batman,
we go into superheroes.
I don't care about branding. I don't care about my podcast. It's Batman. But yeah, just kidding. But wow, I love how you navigate through that, and then the essence of it. And I totally agree. Wow, I'm excited for my team to put that clip of this podcast out there, because I mean that is what I'm trying to say in the introduction about your videos having values. So there you have it, guys. When this video clip goes up, this is why I say Laura here and her content is full of value. That simple, talk about Batman, and you wouldn't, where is she going with that? And why is he talking about Batman? He's like a fanatic nerd. I don't care. You finish the video and you will see, wow, that is full of value. Wow. Thank you, Laura, for sharing that wonderful insight.
Yeah, of course.
Another follow-up question. And this is the meat of this episode. All right.
Ooh.
We started, basic. What's the definition of marketing? Why is it important? What role does it play? So those are all the foundations. It's out there already. Now, share with us marketing essentials. Because, we have this vibe here in the Creative Talk podcast that I always put on the hat of a commoner, so to speak. Okay, I don't know. I'm a businessman, right? I don't know anything about marketing. Laura, I love your content. It's so nice, so valuable. You explained to me what marketing is and why is it important. I need marketing now. Then what do I need to do? What are marketing essentials? Or, how can I start? Where would I start? The floor is yours, Laura. Feel free to share.
First of all, the most important thing is to know your goal, because what works for, this guy who has his business, who doesn't know anything about marketing, who has a restaurant, is very different from this lady over here who also doesn't know anything about marketing, but she has, she sells purses online. Okay. So they both need marketing. Oh yeah. And they need it a lot. But how we're going to give them their marketing essentials is very, very different, because these two people have very different goals in mind and for their businesses. So first of all, understand your goal, and your goal is not anybody else's goal. And that's one of the main problems that I see on this marketing spike, because it's obvious marketing is spiking right now. Everybody is talking about marketing. There are a lot more people doing marketing now than what it was back then.
And there's a lot of those mumbo jumbo gurus out there.
There's tons of them.
Yeah. And again, I always say this in this show. I have nothing against them. It's good, but I've been, correct me if I'm wrong, Laura. Portraying that you're an expert in a field in a complex field such as marketing, that's, it's okay if you can dress with this character. But what happens when you connect with people that are really looking for valuable help? They ran across those mumbo jumbo gurus, and what do they get? Right?
Yeah.
Worse is if they invest in
Oh,
getting
yeah.
something that would be needed for them to grow and achieve success. That's why I hate, those let's say, not really in a position to give values. And that's why I
Yeah.
love and respect people like you, because you are just here to guide people, explain and push people to achieve success. It's not going to be, all of a sudden, but someone with authentic and, something genuine that people can really hold on to as they continue their journey.
I think that's always going to happen in any industry. I mean, there's been cases where I don't know if you heard, but there was a case, I'm pretty sure it was here in the US, where this guy passed himself as a doctor. Imagine if there's people trying to be, fake doctors with your health. Imagine how easy it is to say that marketing. So I think it's always going to happen no matter what industry we're in. But it's your responsibility as a consumer to not believe what everybody says. If you're hearing me say something, think, does this make sense? Do I agree with what they're saying? Okay. What's the past of this person? What's their expertise? What are their credentials? It's so important for us to be responsible consumers. We are consuming information everywhere that, it's hard because what we see can look exactly the same. There's even people that are plagiarizing the exact same content. That's been happening so often right now in this industry, where you're like, no, but it says all this information. Okay. Did you do a little background research? So important to be really, really responsible consumers. So
I agree. I totally agree. Um, just to support that, and then we can, jump back to marketing. Just to support that, the problem now is that, people, like what you've said, they don't spend enough time thinking or making an assessment of what the information they are consuming. Right?
yeah,
Critical thinking. It's not just looking for an answer. It's asking why, how, what's the relevance, and a very concrete way, a very concrete solution to finalize that predicament is that once you see value, you can always differentiate a genuine to, let's say, a fake or somebody else that is not what they claim to be. Once they share value, there you can see the difference, because they can, yes, like what you said, they can copy content or a narrative, or they can pose as one, as an
yeah.
expert. But when it comes into giving value, it's either they're very good at faking it or they wouldn't last. They wouldn't last. There you will see, okay, this person is consistent in sharing values, and like what you've said, those values really make sense, right? It connects. It resembles into reality. It's not just theoretical.
Exactly.
And that is where people can make their decision to follow or support or even connect to
And
those.
to consume, because
Yeah.
if you're believing information from this person blindly, so if this person says, no, only wear white t-shirts, you have to wear only white t-shirts, and you're like a huge fan. Okay, I'm only going to wear white t-shirts. It's really, really important that you understand, and that if you're taking actions from what you consume, you actually process it.
Wow, right, right. And that's, I think that's what advertising and marketing back then, that's the A game. They tend to dictate everything, but people nowadays in this generation, they have the right, they have this authority to consume everything, to process everything, to make that drastic decision, maybe, a poor one or a really wise decision. The consumers, they have that authority now. Back then, no, they're being, guided, manipulated by the traditional advertising thing. But that's
Yeah.
another story, right? Let's go back to marketing. That was, wow, that was full of of juice.
A little side street that was a really with a nice view.
Wow, yeah. Marketing tips from you, Laura. Marketing tips for you, basic marketing tips from you for our viewers and our listeners.
Yes. So after you have your goal, okay, whether your goal, the goal on the food account was honestly to get more people to see the food around, for us to go to more restaurants, and for the followers to grow. That's what we were getting from it. After that became a business, followers and going to restaurants isn't our main goal. Our main goal now is to get clients. Okay. At that moment when we were looking for monthly clients. Now at the moment, it's to get people to learn about marketing, because we're sending out a lot of educational content. So as you see, the goals change, and that's totally fine. What's important for you as a business owner is to understand, as soon as that goal changes, that you're also changing your strategies. And with that, I go to my next point, which is, who are you attracting? So it's what we call the audience. So who is this goal for? As you saw with the 3 stages, at one moment, the goal was to attract restaurants so that they would invite us, right? Then it was to attract local restaurants that had the budget to pay for a marketing campaign. Then it's attracting entrepreneurs who want to learn to improve their business, okay? So these 3 stages, the 3 goals, also completely changed to the audience that we are trying to grasp. So that's another part. And then the third part is basically your message. The message is not the same at either one of these 3 stages. And that's so important. You can't think that, we can keep showing the restaurants, oh, this is so cool. If you're a local restaurant in Miami, you have a new place to try. That's not going to appeal if I'm, trying to send out information, educational information about social media and how it can transform your business. So it's different stages, but that's the basic pillars of it. Gets a lot more complicated as anything, as anything would. It's not just that water is H2O and that's it. There's a lot more behind it, just like in marketing. But the pillars of marketing is, okay, your goal, your audience, your message.
Oh, I love that. The pillars of marketing. Wow. Just a simple question. I hear this a lot, and marketing is a separate expertise. I hear this a lot from partners, my colleagues, and friends in the business world, especially startups. They have a tight budget. They always say that, I think marketing is not yet my priority because I'm starting up. I would save my money and not, spend it elsewhere, invest it in other aspects of the business. And I'm going to do marketing myself.
Okay.
What's your take on this?
That's fine, as long as they are doing marketing. It's normal to, at the beginning, when you're launching a business, to not have a budget. That's fine. But don't spend on things that you think are going to make a difference and not spend on marketing. Okay. If you're spending at all, there's one thing that you should be spending on to grow, especially a startup, that's on marketing. Because it's a really, really small thing, like the food blog at the moment, maybe we didn't have a budget. Maybe if you're just starting off your business, you might still be in a place where you don't need to pay rent. You're starting off a business from scratch and you absolutely have $0. Okay, do it yourself. That's totally fine. But get the resources. There are so many free resources for you to do it yourself, but not doing it at all, that's not an option because your startup is never going to grow. Marketing is everything, especially for a startup. How you sell it, how you pitch it to investors, how you grow, how you get a team. It's everything. That you can do it yourself, you can. And there are many, many resources. YouTube is a powerhouse. There are so many things out there that people take for granted just because it's free. And that's one of the main things of products that I sell. Most of the times I'm thinking, okay, I want to make something, I want to create something that's very accessible to people. So I think, you know what? Instead of charging $20, $10, they might as well make it for free. I have a lot of free resources. I have a free YouTube checklist that's everything that you could ever want if you want to start a YouTube channel. For that, I should be charging some money for it.
Right.
I'm not, because I want to make it easy for people to implement even when they're starting off, right? When they don't have a budget. The problem is that people see free and they don't take action because they're not exchanging energy for it. So money is really, energy that we're exchanging. So they got something of a lot of value for exchanging an email. So their email, that little small thing that they feel that they gave, that's basically the input that they're going to put into it. So that's sadly why a lot of people don't take action with the free stuff that's out there, like YouTube, like free courses, like free stuff that you can get. Obviously, it doesn't have everything in there to take your startup to a multi-billion-dollar business, but it's going to help you get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, if I was in your position and, I heard, that conversation, my advice would be like same as yours. Yes, there's nothing wrong. And obviously, focusing on your budget, that's a big thing. There's nothing wrong in doing marketing yourself. If you can learn and if you have knowledge, why not? But to a certain extent, right? There will come a time in that journey while you're doing that business that you need to get someone who is expert in that field. That's something that I always tell my clients, my partners. Yes, we can be a jack of all trades, but we need people. That's the reason why there are experts out there, genuine experts.
Yeah.
They can perform way better, right? And they would be an essential tool for us to reach our goal and achieve that success. That
exactly
is what I believe. And that's, if I'm going to be recommending, okay, here's Laura, she's an expert in marketing. She will not think about anything else but that. Why would not your business be benefit from that, right? I'm thinking this and you're thinking that. We all combine, we interlock, we collaborate. That's an awesome team effort, right? And
exactly.
That's something that people need. The crashing question there is, the crashing claim there is that that's awesome in theory, but I'm gonna spend more. And that's something that people in reality doesn't want to do, right?
Yeah. So it's like, for example, I'm not saying that, Jan, that you can never become an expert at marketing. If that's what you want, you can definitely do it. But what I am saying is that the years and the amount of time that it's going to take you to get to the level of somebody that's already been there, that's already invested in their own growth, that's already gone through different experiences, you're going to end up, spending more time, effort, and money trying to do it yourself because you're trying to maybe save a buck, but at the end you're losing you're with the startup that could have been picked up off the road by, let's say, investing $20. We're making it so that it's easy to explain. By investing $20 with somebody's help, somebody like a marketing consultant's eye on you that's going to tell you, okay, no, make a right turn here, rather than you saying, oh, no, I'm not spending those $20. I'm going to do it myself. So you take a left turn, you go around the block, and then you finally, after a lot of time, you understand that you had to make a right turn.
Wow, that's awesome. I love that. Thank you so much, Laura. Thank you so much for, I learned a lot. Definition of marketing, the importance of it, basic tips, essential of wow. Such a power-packed episode. Thank you for sharing wonderful, wonderful points that connects to marketing. I really appreciate your time and I really appreciate your effort in explaining. Thank you so much.
Of course, Jan. This has been such a pleasure. The conversation was so good that I feel like we're just getting started, but thank you so much for this opportunity. We did share a lot of insights, a lot of juicy stuff. I knew it was going to be juicy from the beginning.
We're not yet done, my dear. We're not yet done.
Good.
So this is the part that, from the beginning, we highlight your story, who shaped you, what shaped you. The middle part, we get into the game about marketing. I've learned a lot. I'm sure our listeners and our viewers learn a lot as well. Now, this is the part that we play a game, Laura. It's a game.
I love games.
The game time. All right. So the goal of this game here is for people also to see the other side of you. Yes, you're an expert. Yes, we're serious in business, but you're also a human being. You smile, you laugh, you act silly. Sometimes you don't know what to say. And that is where we build relationships. That is where we be transparent to people. And with that, I believe that with that, you start connecting and you build that relationship and it will harness trust, right?
Yes, definitely.
All right. So this is what we call the creative fast talk. We will be asking questions. I will be asking questions that are random. My team gave me these questions. I have the decision to pick which one will go first. But I did not prepare the questions. And then there are questions that when you do give me the answer, it will lead to a follow-up question. All right?
Ooh, exciting.
Yes. So you're not allowed to spend too much time thinking what the perfect answer would be. The first thing that pops into your mind, shoot. All right?
Got it.
Main rule in this game, you need to be totally honest.
Ooh. Okay.
Ready? Are you ready, Laura?
Okay, let's do this.
All right, let's start with a simple question.
Okay.
Question number 1. Structured or chaotic?
Structured.
Sun or snow?
Sun.
The beaches or the mountains?
Oof, beaches.
Popcorn and movies, or dinner and dancing?
Dinner and dancing.
Wow, I didn't expect you to answer that. All right, okay.
Of course, I'm Latina.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes.
It's all about the dancing.
Yes. Me too. Yeah, I love ballroom dancing. So, yeah. Laura, what are you afraid of?
Oof, deep one. In reality, I feel like one of my fears is not giving off and showing my true potential.
Ooh.
Because there's many things that I feel like, you have that feeling where, I want to do so many things. I know I can do so many things. And it's just like that fear of, okay, the time, the how, the when, the what. I get a lot of ideas, and it's just bringing those ideas to life.
Wow. Okay. I'll accept that.
Yeah.
Netflix or YouTube?
Netflix.
All right. So since you said that, follow-up question would be, because that deals with movies, right? What are the top 3 movies of all time?
Okay, but you can't, this is really funny because my typical movie is like the typical like chick flick. Those are my favorite.
Share it. Okay. I'm sure we have a lot of chick flicks listener and viewers out there.
Number 1, The Notebook.
I love that.
Number 2, The Pursuit of Happiness.
Is that a chick flick? That's not a chick flick.
No. Okay. So that's one that's not a chick flick.
Yeah, but I love that.
Okay.
I love that. Okay. Next.
That one's really, really good. And then number 3, just because I rewatched it again and I feel like I could watch it so many times and get different feelings from it. I feel like it's so well done. It's for every audience. Inside Out.
Ooh, the animation, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
So it's a kid movie. It's a kid movie, and
Yeah,
we probably watched it when it came out. But when we watch it later on, when we kind of understand a little more about, our head, what goes on, it's so deep. And it's so deep how it's done so well that a kid can consume it and can feel like, oh, how cool. But then an adult can consume it and can be like, wow. Pixar, hands down. Props to
Pixar,
you.
from
so
Pixar.
well done. So well done. And I feel like it's that movie that you could watch so many times, and each time you're going to catch on to, that's why they did that.
I love the part there in Inside Out that, while the lead character, the girl, was still young, they have this like theme parks inside her emotions, and then
your
parks. Yeah, as she grows, it crumbles, and there's a new one that evolves. So I love how the thought process. I love the thought process. Wow. Yeah. Nice pick. Next question. Your favorite color. What is your favorite color?
Purple, TDC purple.
And why?
We picked that color because on the color of emotions, that purple, it means creative.
Oh, yes. Wow.
So when we were actually doing the branding of our company from the very first start, I looked at color emotions, basically a chart graph, other companies that are also symbolizer that come to mind when it's purple. And I really, really found, and I love that tie of creative. That's, I think that's all what I'm all about.
Wow. I agree. I love that. Next, passenger or driver?
Driver.
If you're an animal. Oh yeah, you mentioned that. Okay. Since now you mentioned that, what's your favorite, car of all time, brand of car of all time? This is not included in the list. I just want to
know. My go-to would probably be an Audi R8.
Wow. All right. Are you a fan of the Fast and the Furious franchise?
Yeah.
And who's your favorite character there?
I mean, obviously at the beginning, Paul.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So he's no longer in the newer ones that they're making, but he's obviously, very, very still iconic from that brand.
Right. Okay. Just it was just in my mind. Next, very weird question. So prepare yourself.
Ooh. Okay.
Soap or toothbrush?
Soap.
Okay. Chocolates
or toothbrush? That's a funny. At first I thought toothpaste, but now toothbrush.
Yeah. Next.
Interesting.
Chocolates or slippers?
Ooh, chocolate. Okay.
If you're an animal, what animal would you be and why?
Elephant. They're so powerful and they don't understand it.
Okay. The elephant can say that. Who told you that we don't understand our strength?
That's true. I read it somewhere, but it's like the elephant, the elephant is just so strong and powerful. And I don't remember where I read this, but this is what, the source said. I don't even know if this is true, but that stuck to me. And I was like, wow, what a powerhouse. That they don't understand their magnitude. They don't, so.
I have a different take on that, just for the sake of a conversation.
Yeah,
I believe that every animal, every being knows their capacity. That's the reason they are always in check. Right? So even wild predators out there, they know which one to attack. There are some cases that, out of the norm, out of the food chain, they do attack some that is not normal. But they do understand their strengths. They do understand their magnitude. In the case of the elephants, they know what they are capable of, and that's why they're so graceful. They're so slow paced because they
I
know.
love them.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're like so strong, and that's something that they know how to use well.
Yeah.
Right, right. And just something to add the conversation about animals. And
Hmm.
again, that's just my perspective. I'm not an expert in animals.
Yeah. Neither am I, or in elephants, What do I know? Maybe
Right,
the
right.
elephant knows that it's so
Yeah,
powerful.
yeah. We need to ask. I'll have my team to make some research on elephants.
Please, we need an elephant expert here.
Next, your dream superpower and why?
Oh, I've thought about this a couple times. So off the bat, I already have different answers, but you know what? I think I'm going to change it. So, I've had like the typical one, like invisible, flying, time travel,
Ooh, strong.
but I think it would be to read minds.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna ask why, because that says it all. Yeah, that
We can
says it
just
all.
go on to the next one.
This last question is our tradition. It's a traditional question here in the Creative Talk. This could be
Okay.
serious, this could be silly. It's up to you. All right. But you need to
Okay.
be honest. If you
Okay.
will bring someone back from the dead, who would it be and why? Anyone. It could be a historical figure, a politician, or a relative, a friend, a colleague. If you could bring back someone back from the dead, who would
Hmm.
it be and why?
Martin Luther King.
Ooh, wow. Mm,
I think not only the movement that he had and what it symbolizes, but I just feel like the way he did everything that he did was so carefully thought out. The impact, the way he speaks, his choice of words, so powerful. And I think the world needs a lot more of those powerhouses.
ooh, I was about to say that. The world needs another Martin Luther King. But obviously, you know, perfect choice. I love the movement that he started. Such an influencer, right?
Yeah, for everyone. It's not
Mhm.
just for a certain group of people. I think for everyone, it also opened our eyes to what's possible when you fight for what you want.
A juicy conversation about life and
Very
Martin
juicy.
Luther King. Wow. All right. So Laura, thank you so much for answering those silly questions and just being a good sport. I know you have a lot of projects, online events, or releases, or social media accounts that you can promote. The floor is yours. Feel free.
Ooh, ready? Everybody, pull out your phones, take notes. This is the moment to take action. No, I'm joking. No, but definitely, if you want to hear more of my content, you can head over to TDC Talks. It's on every podcasting platform. We have a new podcast every Friday, and that's the best way to learn about marketing, to learn a little more about business, and also to interact with not only me, but the TDC team. So I'd love to have you guys over there. If you do listen to an episode, send me a message, tell me what you thought, what you gained from it, what you learned. And, it would be awesome to have all of you listeners that enjoyed the episode over on that side too, learning more about marketing.
Wow. Guys, feel free to connect with Laura. I'm sure she would help you with her
Oh, yeah.
expertise to achieve your desired goal and success in business and in life.
Thank you, Jen. It's been a pleasure. And definitely, as you said, such a great conversation. I really enjoyed it. So thank you so much for having me. And I hope that we can do it again.
For sure, for sure. All right, guys, this is a jam-packed episode. A lot of topics. Wow. Animals, Martin Luther King, marketing. It's a combination. You will learn a lot. So feel free to check this out and do connect with Laura. Find us on Spotify, Instagram, Apple Podcast, the Creative Talk Podcast. Guys, have a positive outlook in life. Smile and God bless.
Thank you for being with us here on the Creative Talk Podcast. I'm your host, John Santos. Don't forget to listen and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. See you again, always.